Emergence. It is good to be with you. If you don't know me, my name is Tyler Shuhnicki. I hang out up in the Ringwood campus in the sticks. And it's a lot of fun. If you don't know me, come say hi. I've been around a long time and I love to make friends. So anyway, we're gonna jump right into it. If you don't know where we are, we're working through the idea of sin without for this week of Lent, and which means I get the joy of talking to you about greed and how greed hurts other people. So let's do it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We are in Luke chapter 12. Okay, and so background before we jump in, Jesus is talking about some like just beware the Pharisees. Don't fear those who can kill the body. Fear those who can, fear God who can kill the soul. Acknowledge Christ before men, and He acknowledges you before the Lord. All this stuff that's like really important. And out of nowhere, this dude interrupts him. So let's go there. Luke chapter 12, verse 13. Someone in the crowd says to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." But he said to him, "Man, who made me a judge or arbitrator over you?" And he said to them, "Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." And guys, just right off the bat, we see it, right? We see this greed just detract from some important, life-changing discussion that Jesus is having. Greed just is so self-focused that this is what it does. Like that's a freebie. We have a lot to jump into, but like right off the bat, I just love Jesus's response. Like, man, that's not my job. Like, go deal with that somewhere else. But I love the warning he gives and the response he has because, oh gosh, I can't stop thinking about it. The idea of one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. And I can't help but like notice real quick that Jesus warns us in a really specific way. He doesn't go after the heart issue like he does in the Sermon on the Mount, and he doesn't, tell us flatly, but he tells us to be on guard. And I think that's because like there's a reason. I think it means that greed is deceptive, that it can feel like life is found with your abundance and possessions, but Jesus warns us it's not. And if life isn't found there, the only thing that's found there, if we focus on it, is death. Okay, so I mean, just look at this poor guy. What kind of relational death has already happened with him and his brother and the rest of his family over possessions? Um, I think we as humans need to be reminded all the time that God is the provider of all things. Right? This is built into our rhythms. Right? We tithe to remind us that God is the provider of our money, and we Sabbath to remind us that He's the provider of time, and He gives us the sun, the rain, the air we breathe. Um, to hold on to those things as if we're in control is to fail to trust the provider who generously gives it to you. So greed is sneaky. It chokes this out, and ultimately, if you're holding on to these things and not allowing God to kind of work with them, I think it's a big decline on the RSVP to participate in the mission of God, right? He asks us to be on mission with Him. He partners with us, and when we're too greedy to give up our time, or to give up our resources, or to give up our skills, or to give up this or that, we say no, and that's where joy is. That's where life is, right? God wants to work in our lives to love our neighbors, to care for the people around us. And when we're too focused on our possessions and our wealth and our status and our comfort, we say no. And so where might people around you be affected by that? Where could you be making a difference because you're a Christian in your life and you're on mission? Where could you be making this difference and you're not because greed is there. And I think this happens to every one of us where we in some area we don't participate the way we can because of greed. And because greed can cover a lot of things, it's sneaky, like we found out. And so I think really what we need to be doing is to be just opening our hands and saying, "I trust you, Lord. Like you're going to multiply whatever I give you, so here's all of it." As day by day, as we get better. And so I just want to end by asking a couple questions. Okay, so please just ask. One, how focused are you on your wealth and status and comfort? And two, would you like to see the world transform around you by your actions? Three, are these things at odds in your life? And that's between you and God. And so my challenge really is just to think about that and to potentially loosen your grip on at least just one thing in your life that you could see someone benefit from. Much love, Emergence. I hope this finds you well.